Okay, this is my video for the week. Let's have a look at what's going on. So let's take a look at our dashboard. So this week we've been trying to get the 2026.6 release ready for the second run through of checklist testing. So first run through went through quite a few issues raised during that. So we then did the these issues were then fixed. I think there's been one or two issues that Tom's been working on during the week, so hopefully Tom will be telling us that they're all done and dusted with QA, and we're going to be starting checklist testing soon. We were due to go live with this next week, but if we're starting checklist testing on Monday, which is looking like the earliest at the moment, that's putting the date of the end of next week for going live at risk, but that is subject to issues found, of course. So as you can see, there currently is 3.5 hours remaining in here of QA time and 10 hours of dev. So these are critical issues that have been raised that need to be fixed. So let's get an update in the meeting today, because obviously we need to get the checklist testing scheduled in. Then we've got the 7 and 8 releases, 2607 and 8, which were merged together. So they're going out all together. So we're down to 28 hours of QA on those, and 26 issues have been raised. That seems a bit light for compared to previous. Let's just go back and look at 06. Oh no, 06. Move that one and that one. So we've got 37 issues in 06. Now that was a view, one of the view migrations was in there. So whenever we do those, we tend to have more issues. So that is more issues, but that was one release. And then if we go back to 7 and 8, currently we've only got 26 issues. So that's gone down for 2 issues. So that's good. That's good. So there's some QA time in there. I know Noemi and Shah have been working their way through. I believe the 07 stuff has gone through QA. It's just the 08 stuff that's left. So hopefully we're going to do the checklist testing for 06 next week, and then quickly followed up by 8 and 7 and 8 thereafter. And we're not far off with 9 actually. So if we go and have a quick look at our 9 release, we've still got 50 hours of dev time in there. So that's not that far behind, although we should be out of dev time at the moment. Of course, we haven't been able to start the QA testing because there's only 4 issues so far. So all this stuff, the majority of this stuff is going to be sat there waiting for the QA team to be testing, which that looks like they have started. So we have used some of the QA time. We have got through 60 hours of QA time, so that is in progress at the moment. So let's go and have a look at 10, and then we'll just have a look at it by objective afterwards. So this is 10. So this is what the guys have started this week. See, most of it's been kicked off, so it's really finishing off the data import, publisher data import stuff. So there's 4 sprints on that. We've got quite a lot of Blitz stuff, so quite a lot of issues in there. Some of the issues are quite large, so that's why that's inflated. So we may have, let's have a quick look at the user stories to give you an idea of what's in there. So you can see that we have got 24 user stories over the total of 467 users. Some of these are really big and complicated bugs to fix, so that's why there is quite a lot of time that this sprint's occupying. So that's 10, so that's in progress. So we're 1 week in. So 1 week in, let's have a quick look at the funnel view. 13%, nearly 14% through, so about right really. So that does speed up as we get through. And then we're putting together the next release, which will actually be 2701. That is looking, got quite a lot in there at the moment. So this isn't this hasn't been confirmed yet, but the main objective item in there is the core migration. We've got all the sprints in there, and Ben's gone through. He's done a dependency chart, and it does actually look, provided we're very careful and keep an eye on who's doing what, we could actually get the whole thing done in one iteration, which is looking Yeah, that's looking good. There's a couple of sprints in here. So we've got the workflow and sub-process. Well, we've got to decide whether we're going to do those. So those are not necessarily been included. So we will review that. And then there's finishing off the published data import with the upload malware scan thing. So that's looking in good shape. So these core migration stories need to be reviewed by the developers. So that's in progress. Then they'll be reviewed with QA as well. So the developers will take QA through it so that QA can add in their estimates. As you can see at the moment, we're missing those estimates, so they need to be done. And then we've got a bucket there for O2. So I don't think there was anything in that. No, there's nothing in that yet. So let me just clear all this off. Let's have a look at some of this by objective. We have been doing some changes to this DevOps and this report. So the objective feature is about to change. We've made it a lot more flexible, but we'll go into that when we're ready. So if we go down here, we've got core. So we've been through that. I've shown you core. We've got CRM prerequisites. So that's something that's going to come up soon. We've also got CRM, which isn't in here at the moment. So I believe Ben's got a meeting to go through with Tim. Tim needs to answer some questions and work out whether the things that we've got in the CRM prerequisite sprint are in fact still needed. So that might actually disappear or change. So CRM prerequisites are coming up very soon. Then we've got demo PMP. So that's mainly a job for the PSO team. So we'll be looking at scheduling that soon. We've got the DevOps reporting. So this is the changes I've just mentioned to DevOps and in fact, let's have a look at it, shall we? So we've made quite a lot of progress this week. So we did a review yesterday, and you can see we've got down to 100 hours. So we've actually made some good progress. We do have a user story. This is mainly for Johan's information. So one of these user stories, we've had a look at it, and it doesn't quite make sense. So we need Johan and Tim's time basically to review that. So Ben's going to do that. Just to clarify a few points in there, but the rest of it's actually progressing quite nicely. So if you take that one out, we've got what's that, 40 hours, so 60 hours in there. 32 hours of that is QA, so 30 hours is QA. Yep, so we are making good progress. There are a few bits for Ben to do so that Saxon can finish off. And we do have this first sprint. So this is central glossary and terminology. So that might be something, Johan, we get you to get involved in when we're ready. Probably best to get this finished first before we start defining stuff. So let's, we've got the ELMS website. So as you can see, some of this is the pre-website stuff. So this is progressing. I know we've got some more feedback from Chloe's come through, which Saxon's going to be looking at, working on. And we're going to have a little get-together next week just to see where we are and what's holding some of this up. So this sprint in particular, this WMS-driven website forms, I think there's some work in there for developers, so we need to get them organised on that. So we need to have a chat with the guys on that next week, get that in the schedule. Then we've got the GavP stuff. So quite a lot of this has been done. As you see, we're all down to 05. Now, a little bit of investigation in this. So the question came up in the week about why have we not handed this over to EIMS for UAT. And from what I've understood, I think Naomi is going to provide me some more detail. There were some things that needed, bugs that needed to be fixing, some functionality that was needed to make this work, or to be put in a state where it could be handed over. So it wasn't quite complete. That, I believe, has been done in the 06 release. So we just need to confirm all this, in which case that means that we can probably start the UAT for this in a couple of weeks once we've gone live with the 06 release. We do have a couple of extra bits we're doing. We've got this phone number enrichment thing that's in progress. So that's in the 08 release. Still got a bit of time on that. That's mainly, yeah, it's QA time. And then there's this Sprint 10, which I think we were going to leave that. That was being held off until we've done the BDR POC, I believe. So that's the Gav excuse me, greater automation. Let's have a quick look at the funnel view. 99.53%. I think that was 97 last week. So we are in with a hair's breadth of that, getting that done. So down we've got the publisher. Let's do that one a minute. Oh, get rid of that one. Oh, so that's I've chosen the wrong thing there. So this is that's the one I meant to do, reliable output. So why have we only got one sprint in there? Okay, some of this has stopped working. Let's go into this one. Oh, so that one works. That might be some, if you've been messing with objectives, Ben, might need to have a little look at some things have stopped appearing in the report. So I'll have to have a look at that. We've got the publisher data import stuff. So you can see we've got quite a big chunk of that we're doing in 10. There's one more sprint down there, help one that hasn't started yet, which I guess will be done once the products, the rest of it's done. We've got the malware scanning, which will be taken into the next release, the next iteration. So that's 27.01, and then that will be completed. Then we've got the view migration, which is all done. So that's actually in the 06 release, which is currently awaiting second run through of checklist testing. So that is probably enough in there. Quick look at the work schedule. There might be a couple of things in here we need to just... So there's a few things that Ben probably needs to do. So Ben, I guess you'll go through this in your video. I think this is all up to date. And then Tom, just a reminder, you are doing the .NET 10 user stories and estimation. So I believe that's something we need to get done before November. So I guess we need those user stories estimated as soon as, so we can figure those in. And I think that's probably enough.